Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the world of coin collecting, few things stir the heart of a collector more than the thrill of finding a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. And one coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike is the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might seem like just another silver-colored coin from the pocket change of yesteryear. But this ordinary-looking quarter carries a story of transition, hidden secrets, and stunning value that could change someone's life forever. For those with sharp eyes and a little luck, this coin could be worth an astonishing fortune. The 1965 Washington quarter stands at a historical crossroads in American coinage. Prior to that year, quarters were made of 90% silver, real silver that gave them weight, shine, and intrinsic value. But due to the rising cost of silver and the increasing demand for coins, the U.S. Mint made a bold move. In 1965, they eliminated silver from circulating quarters entirely, replacing it with a clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel alloy. This new formula was designed to look like silver but at a much lower cost. From this point forward, the Washington quarter, while still silver in color, was no longer made of precious metal. The coin's physical attributes remained familiar: a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a round shape. It features the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse, along with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "God We Trust" in the year 1965. The reverse shows the powerful American eagle, wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches. But despite its familiar appearance, not all 1965 quarters were created equal, and that's where things get interesting. The transition from silver to clad coinage in 1965 was not a flawless process. The U.S. Mint was still phasing out old planchets and adapting new machinery. Amidst this massive production shift, a small number of errors slipped through the cracks. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from the previous year. These errors were unintentional and incredibly rare. But they happened, and when collectors discovered them, the value of the 1965 quarter suddenly skyrocketed. Imagine holding a coin that looks just like any other 1965 quarter, but it's actually made of real silver. The difference is subtle, but it can be detected by weight, sound, and visual characteristics. A genuine 90% silver quarter from 1965 will weigh slightly more than its clad counterpart, often around 6.25 grams instead of 5.67. When dropped, it produces a distinctive ring that's different from the duller sound of copper-nickel. Under close examination, the edge of the coin might also reveal a solid silver color without the copper core visible in normal clad coins. Collectors have paid enormous amounts for these accidental silver 1965 quarters, especially when they are confirmed by professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These experts examine the coin's composition, weight, strike quality, and condition, and certify whether it's truly a rare error or an altered piece. Once authenticated, these coins become prized possessions, not only because of their rarity, but because they mark a unique moment in U.S. Mint history. But that's not the only reason the 1965 quarter is valuable. Other rare varieties and mint errors from that year have also been documented. Some coins display doubling in the lettering or date, known as double die obverse errors, while others show off center strikes, clipped planchets, or even broad strikes that expand the coin beyond its usual boundaries. These minting mistakes, though accidental, add huge value to the coin, especially when they are bold and easy to spot. Collectors go wild over these kinds of errors because they are not only rare, but also visually fascinating. Imagine a coin where the date 1965 appears twice, slightly offset, or a quarter with a jagged edge from an imperfect cut. These aren't just coins, they're pieces of a story, fragments of a moment when machines didn't work perfectly. And a small piece of chaos made its way into American currency. What's even more exciting is that these valuable coins are not locked away in museums or private vaults. They're still out there, in pocket change, old coin jars, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers. Because so many 1965 quarters were produced, hundreds of millions, the rare ones are camouflaged among the common. It takes a careful eye, a bit of knowledge, and sometimes a little luck to uncover one. But when you do, the reward can be astonishing. If you come across a 1965 Washington quarter, don't overlook it. First, check the weight. If you have a small digital scale, weigh the coin to see if it's heavier than the expected 5.67 grams. Next, examine the edge. If there's no visible copper stripe and the entire rim looks silver, that's a strong sign it might be made of silver. Tap it gently and listen to the sound. A high-pitched ring means you may have something special. Finally, inspect the date and lettering for doubling or imperfections. If you suspect your coin might be one of the rare silver struck or error varieties, submit it to a professional grading company for verification. The authentication process can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a certified treasure. Once graded and confirmed, these coins can fetch enormous sums at auctions or private sales and become the crown jewel of any coin collection. Now let's talk about the moment every collector waits for: the value. A regular 1965 quarter may be worth just 25 cents. But if you happen to find a rare variety, especially one struck on a silver planchet or containing a dramatic mint error, and it's in excellent condition, that coin could sell for as much as $185,000. Yes, you heard correctly, $185,000. That's the power of knowledge, observation, and a little bit of luck. What looks like spare change can be a silent treasure, waiting for someone to recognize its true worth. The 1965 No Mint Mark Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It's a relic of a historic change in American coinage, a witness to a moment of transition, and a rare opportunity to turn an ordinary discovery into a once-in-a-lifetime reward. So keep your eyes open. Check your change. Dig through those old coin rolls and forgotten stashes, because the next great numismatic discovery could be sitting right in your hands: a small, silver-colored coin that carries the weight of history and the promise of a fortune. Top 2. In the vast and exciting world of coin collecting, few things bring more thrill than discovering a rare and valuable piece hidden in what seems like ordinary pocket change. One such fascinating treasure is the 1974 Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like just another silver-colored quarter, one you'd pass over without a second thought. But behind its familiar design lies a world of history, mystery, and immense value that has collectors and treasure hunters buzzing. What makes this coin truly captivating is not just its rarity, but the unexpected surprises and minting secrets it holds. If you've ever handled a 1974 quarter, you might want to take a second look, because yours could be worth a fortune. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin quickly became an enduring part of U.S. coinage. By 1974, the design had become a familiar sight in daily transactions, featuring the left-facing profile of George Washington on the obverse, with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" inscribed along the edges. At the bottom of the coin is the year of mintage, in this case, 1974, and, noticeably, no mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Let's take a closer look at its physical characteristics. The 1974 quarter is silver in color, though no longer made of silver. Instead, it's composed of a copper core clad in layers of copper-nickel alloy. This composition was introduced in 1965, replacing the traditional 90% silver coins due to the rising cost of silver. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a smooth, round shape. It looks and feels like countless other quarters, and yet, a select few are worth far more than their face value. So, what makes the 1974 no mint mark quarter so special? The secret lies in rare minting errors, unexpected planchet anomalies, and extraordinary strike variations that occurred during its production. While hundreds of millions of 1974 quarters were struck and circulated across the country, a small number of them escaped the mint with flaws. And those flaws are exactly what collectors are desperate to find. One of the most exciting and valuable types of errors associated with the 1974 quarter is the off-metal strike. In a few rare cases, quarters from this year were struck on leftover silver planchets or foreign coin blanks. These errors happened when the wrong metal disc, called a planchet, was accidentally fed into the coin press. As a result, the coin produced looks similar to a regular quarter, but with differences in weight, appearance, and sound. These off-metal errors are extremely rare and highly prized because they should not exist. They are the result of a fascinating and unintended mistake by the mint. Another treasure among 1974 quarters is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin's design shifts slightly between strikes, causing a doubling effect in the inscriptions. On the 1974 Washington quarter, collectors search carefully for doubling in the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1974. When this doubling is strong and visible without magnification, it dramatically increases the coin's value. These double die errors are like fingerprints. No two are exactly the same, making each one a unique piece of minting history. In addition to off-metal strikes and double die errors, some 1974 quarters exhibit dramatic strike mistakes like off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets. These flaws are usually caused by mechanical failures during production, such as the blank planchet being improperly aligned or the die not striking correctly. The result is a coin that looks oddly shaped or partially missing parts of the design. While these types of errors are often easier to spot, their value can be just as high, especially if the error is bold and the coin is in excellent condition. It's not just mint errors that make the 1974 quarter valuable. Even regular quarters from this year can hold significant worth if they are found in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins, never used in daily transactions and stored carefully since minting, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, especially if professionally graded by trusted organizations like PCGS or NGC. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay, as perfect examples of older coins become harder to find with each passing year. Imagine this: a coin you've walked past 100 times, tossed into a vending machine, or handed over at a checkout counter could actually be a piece of numismatic gold, a rare 1974 quarter with an error or anomaly that makes it extraordinarily valuable. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. It's a treasure hunt where the prize is real, the odds are unpredictable, and the reward could be staggering. If you want to find out whether your 1974 quarter is one of the rare and valuable ones, here are some tips. First, weigh the coin. If it's heavier than 5.67 grams, it could be an off-metal strike, possibly on a silver planchet. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Look carefully at the lettering and numbers for any signs of doubling or distortion. Check the edges for signs of missing metal, unusual shaping, or misalignment. If anything seems out of the ordinary, it may be worth getting your coin authenticated by a professional grading service. Authentication is key. A coin with a suspected error or rare condition must be evaluated and certified by professionals who can verify its composition, strike quality, and legitimacy. Once authenticated, these coins often find their way to major auctions where collectors compete to own a piece of history and are willing to pay top dollar for it. This is where the real excitement comes in. While most 1974 quarters are worth only 25 cents, some have been discovered and authenticated as rare error coins, commanding prices that would make anyone's jaw drop. And now, we come to the most incredible part of this story: the value. If you are lucky enough to find a 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark, featuring a rare mint error like a silver planchet strike, dramatic double die, or other rare variation, and it is in exceptional condition, its value could reach up to $145,000. Yes, that's right, $145,000. Think about that. A coin you might carry in your pocket every day could hold the kind of value most people only dream about. That's the magic of coin collecting. The idea that something small, overlooked, and seemingly ordinary could actually be a door to opportunity, wealth, and wonder. So, keep checking your change. Take a closer look at the coins you come across, because among the millions of 1974 quarters out there, a rare and extraordinary piece of history may be waiting just for you to discover it. Top 3. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, certain coins manage to rise above the rest, not because they're made of gold or encrusted with diamonds, but because they hold a secret, a mistake, or a rare twist of history that makes them priceless in the eyes of collectors. One such remarkable coin is the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark. While millions of these coins were produced and circulated across the United States, a very small number carry rare errors and unique features that have turned them into valuable treasures. And if you're lucky enough to find one in the right condition, this unassuming silver-colored coin could be worth an incredible sum. Let's start by examining what appears, on the surface, to be an ordinary coin. The 1983 P. Washington quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, signified by the small P mark on the obverse, near Washington's neck. Like other modern quarters of the era, it weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and is 1.75 millimeters thick. The coin is round, made with a copper core and clad in copper nickel, giving it a shiny silver appearance. It features the classic design introduced in 1932, with the profile of George Washington on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. By all accounts, this is a coin meant for everyday use, to buy candy, feed parking meters, or flip during a coin toss. But what most people don't realize is that the 1983 P quarter is part of one of the most intriguing chapters in modern numismatics. Why? Because in 1982 and 1983, due to the U.S. Mint's decision to stop producing uncirculated mint sets for the general public, most coins from these years only exist in circulated condition. This means the few surviving 1983 P quarters that were somehow preserved in mint state, never used, never scratched, never tarnished, are incredibly rare. And when combined with certain mint errors, these coins become worth not just more, but a small fortune. Let's talk about these rare and valuable varieties. One of the most famous 1983 P quarter errors is the spitting eagle variety. This fascinating error gets its name from the reverse of the coin, where a small raised line appears to extend from the eagle's beak, giving the illusion that the eagle is, quite literally, spitting. This line was caused by a small die break during the minting process. It's not a design flaw, but rather a mechanical anomaly, and collectors absolutely love it. The spitting eagle quarter has become one of the most sought-after varieties in modern coinage, and prices have soared for examples in pristine condition. In addition to this well-known variety, other rare mint errors have been found on 1983 P quarters, including double die strikes, off-center strikes, and even quarters struck on the wrong planchet. A double die strike occurs when the die shifts slightly between strikes, resulting in a coin with doubling in the text or images. If you look closely at a 1983 P quarter and notice that the letters in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date appear to be doubled or distorted, you might be looking at a rare double die error. Off-center strikes are another incredible minting error. This happens when the planchet isn't properly aligned with the die, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. These coins are visually striking, and collectors are willing to pay high prices for bold off-center errors, especially if the date is still visible. Then there are planchet errors, such as coins struck on blanks intended for pennies, dimes, or even foreign currency. These wrong planchet errors can lead to a lighter or heavier coin, a different color, or unusual edge features, and they're worth a lot to the right buyer. But it's not just the minting errors that make the 1983 P quarter special. As mentioned earlier, the lack of uncirculated mint sets in 1983 means that finding a truly high-grade example is incredibly difficult. Most of the quarters from this year went straight into circulation, enduring decades of wear and tear. So when a collector finds a 1983 P quarter that's still in mint state, especially one with sharp details, luster, and no scratches, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. These pristine coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and those with grades above MS 65, Mint State 65, are especially valuable. One legendary example of this coin, in near-perfect condition with a strong strike and full detail, fetched thousands at auction, even without a major error. Combine mint condition with a rare error like the spitting eagle or a double die strike, and you're looking at serious money. It's this perfect storm of rarity, error, and history that makes the 1983 P Washington quarter so exciting to collectors all around the world. So how can you tell if you have one of these valuable coins? First, check the mint mark. It should be a P on the obverse side. Next, look closely at the eagle's beak on the reverse. Is there a strange line extending outward? That could be the spitting eagle variety. Weigh the coin. It should be 5.67 grams, but a variation could suggest a wrong planchet. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect the date and lettering for signs of doubling. And if you think you have something rare, don't just guess. Send it to a professional coin grading company for authentication. Their verification will dramatically increase its value if it's the real deal. Remember, the value of any coin depends not just on its rarity, but on its condition. A well-preserved 1983 P quarter with a rare error can command premium prices, not just from collectors in the US, but from buyers across the globe who are fascinated by American coinage. The market for rare coins is growing every year, and demand for key pieces like the 1983 P is only increasing. That it's incredible to think that a coin that was once used to pay for a soda or a toll could today be worth a fortune. Yet that's the magic of numismatics. A small, round, silver-colored coin that most people wouldn't think twice about can hold secrets that unlock both history and wealth. And now, for the part that collectors wait for with bated breath, the value. If you are fortunate enough to find a 1983 P Washington quarter that is in uncirculated, mint state condition, or contains a rare error like the spitting eagle variety, a bold double die, or an off-center strike, and it has been graded and authenticated by a professional service, the coin could be worth as much as $115,000. Yes, you heard that right. $115,000. That's the kind of life-changing money that can come from the most unexpected places, from an old coin jar, a forgotten drawer, or the bottom of a coin roll. This is why collectors are always on the hunt, searching through every quarter, hoping to find that one extraordinary piece. The 1983 P quarter isn't just a coin. It's a hidden gem, a secret waiting to be discovered. And if you find one, you could be holding a piece of American numismatic history and a small fortune right in the palm of your hand. So keep your eyes open, your magnifier ready, and your passion alive, because your next big discovery could be just one quarter away. Top 4. In the exciting and often unpredictable world of coin collecting, even the most ordinary-looking coins can hide extraordinary value. Some of the most valuable treasures in American numismatics don't sparkle with gold or glitter with diamonds. Instead, they lie unnoticed in drawers, coin jars, and pocket change. And one of these unassuming yet potentially life-changing pieces is the 1986 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark. At a glance, it looks like any other quarter from the 1980s. But beneath its simple design and silver color lies a story of rarity, errors, and hidden worth that continues to excite collectors across the country. The Washington quarter has long been a symbol of American pride. First issued in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it has become one of the most recognizable and widely circulated coins in the United States. The obverse features the familiar right-facing profile of Washington, along with the words "Liberty" and "God We Trust," in the year of issue, in this case, 1986. On the reverse is the majestic eagle with wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, representing both strength and peace. Now, let's look at the specifications of this coin. The 1986 Washington quarter minted in Philadelphia carries a P mint mark, weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Though it shines like silver, it is not made of precious metal. Like all quarters produced after 1965, it is composed of a copper core layered with a copper-nickel alloy, a durable and cost-effective material designed to mimic the appearance of silver. Its round shape and finely detailed strike make it a classic piece of modern American coinage. But what truly elevates the 1986 P quarter from ordinary to extraordinary is the presence of rare minting errors and its increasing scarcity and pristine condition. While millions of these coins were produced and used in daily commerce, only a few escaped circulation with special characteristics or manufacturing flaws that make them extremely valuable today. Among the most intriguing and sought-after varieties of the 1986 P quarter are those with mint errors, mistakes made during the coin's production that result in unique and often dramatic variations. One of the most valuable of these errors is the double die strike. A double die error occurs when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the design elements, such as the inscriptions "Liberty" and "God We Trust," or the date 1986, to appear doubled. When these doubling effects are strong and visible without magnification, the coin becomes highly desirable to collectors and can fetch thousands of dollars depending on its condition and clarity. Another valuable error found in the 1986 P quarter involves off-center strikes. These are coins where the blank planchet, the metal disc that becomes the coin, is not properly aligned with the die. As a result, the coin is struck with the design shifted to one side, often leaving part of the image or text missing. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin, especially if the date is still visible. These errors are visually striking and immediately grab the attention of experienced collectors. Then there are broad strike errors, where a coin is struck without the retaining collar in place, causing it to expand beyond its usual dimensions. This gives the coin a flat, stretched appearance without a defined rim. Clip planchets, where part of the coin appears to be missing due to a miscut blank, are another fascinating and valuable variety. All of these errors represent a rare departure from the precision of the U.S. Mint, and each one tells a story of mechanical missteps that escaped unnoticed until now. Even beyond errors, the condition of a 1986 P quarter plays a critical role in its value. Coins that were never circulated, known as mint state or uncirculated coins, are much rarer than you might think. In 1986, most quarters were struck and immediately released into general circulation, where they were used for years in everyday transactions. Finding one today that has survived in flawless condition, without scratches, nicks, or signs of wear, is incredibly difficult. These coins are highly sought after and are typically graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade example, especially in MS-67 or higher, can command serious prices in today's collector market. And here's the best part, these rare coins are still out there. You don't need to go to an auction or buy from a dealer to find them. They could be hiding in your spare change, tucked away in an old coin roll, or buried in a forgotten drawer. That's what makes this hobby so exciting, the possibility of discovering a hidden treasure that could be worth a small fortune. If you want to check whether your 1986 P quarter is special, start by examining it under a magnifier. Look closely at the lettering and numbers for signs of doubling. Inspect the coin's edges. An off-center strike or broad strike error may be visible right away. Weigh the coin to confirm it's consistent with standard specs. Any variation might indicate an unusual planchet or foreign blank. And most importantly, consider the overall condition. A coin with full original luster, no contact marks, and crisp details may already be more valuable than you think. If you believe your coin might be rare or unique, don't hesitate to send it to a professional coin grading company for authentication. Having your coin officially graded not only confirms its authenticity but significantly increases its market value. Graded coins are trusted by collectors and investors, making them more likely to sell for their full potential price. So, how much could your 1986 P Washington quarter really be worth? While an ordinary circulated example might still be worth only its face value, a rare error coin, such as one with a bold double die, an off-center strike, or a dramatic minting flaw, especially if it's preserved in mint state condition, can reach an astounding value. And in some truly exceptional cases, collectors have paid as much as $95,000 for one of these rare and remarkable coins. Yes, $95,000. That's the incredible journey of the 1986 P Washington quarter. From a piece of pocket change to a potentially life-changing discovery, this coin reminds us that even the smallest things can hold great value when we take the time to look closely. So don't ignore the quarters in your pocket or the ones jingling at the bottom of your purse. Examine them. Study them. You never know. Your next extraordinary discovery could be hiding in the most unexpected place, just waiting for someone to see its true worth. Top 5. In the vast and thrilling world of coin collecting, the idea that a small piece of metal, handled by thousands over decades, could turn into a priceless treasure is what fuels the passion of collectors around the globe. Every so often, a coin emerges that surprises everyone, not because it's gold or studded with jewels, but because it contains a rare flaw, a unique feature, or a mysterious story from the minting process that makes it incredibly valuable. Today, we're diving into one such example, the 1991 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark. It may appear to be an ordinary coin, one that passed through your hands countless times without a second thought, but the reality is far more exciting. This coin, in the right condition and with certain rare attributes, can be worth as much as $75,000. The The Washington quarter has been a familiar part of American currency since 1932. Originally introduced to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it has remained in production ever since. The 1991 quarter is part of that long tradition, featuring the classic design we've all come to recognize. On the front, or obverse, we see the proud profile of George Washington, facing left. Above his head is the word Liberty, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is printed just to the left of his neck. Below is the year of issue, 1991, and next to that is the D mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Physically, the coin matches the standard for quarters minted after 1965. It has a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. It's round in shape and made from a copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. Although it has the appearance of silver, this quarter contains no actual silver content, a decision made by the U.S. Mint decades earlier to reduce production costs. So what exactly makes this particular quarter so special? Why would anyone pay thousands, even tens of thousands, of dollars for a coin that, on the surface, seems to be worth only 25 cents? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. While millions of 1991 D quarters were minted and released into circulation, a very small number have surfaced with unusual features that make them stand out in a big way. These anomalies, known as mint errors, happened during the production process and were never meant to leave the mint. But a few did. And those are now among the most coveted coins in modern American numismatics. One of the most valuable types of error on a 1991 D quarter is the double die strike. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, causing a doubling effect in the inscriptions and sometimes the portrait itself. If you examine such a coin closely, especially under magnification, you'll notice duplicated or shadowed letters in words like Liberty or In God We Trust, and even in the numbers of the date, 1991. The clearer and more dramatic the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Another prized mint error is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank metal disc, known as a planchet, isn't perfectly aligned in the press during striking. As a result, the coin appears lopsided or incomplete, with part of the design missing. These types of coins are extremely eye-catching and instantly appeal to collectors looking for something unique. If the off-center error is significant and the date remains visible, the coin can fetch a very high price. Then there's the broad strike error. This type of mistake occurs when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin's edge. As a result, the coin expands outward, flattening slightly and losing its typical rim. Though it may look unusual, this feature actually increases the coin's value due to its rarity and distinctiveness. Additionally, there have been reports of 1991 D quarters being struck on the wrong planchet, sometimes intended for other coins like nickels or foreign currency. These coins are particularly fascinating because they often have different weights, colors, and diameters, creating an immediate visual clue that something's not quite right. When authenticated, wrong planchet errors can command very high prices due to their extreme rarity. But it's not just errors that make this coin valuable. The condition, or grade, of a coin plays a massive role in its worth. Most 1991 D quarters were used in everyday transactions, and after decades of circulation, most show signs of wear and tear. A coin that has been handled, scratched, or dulled over time loses much of its collectible value. However, if a 1991 D quarter has been preserved in mint condition, untouched, perfectly struck, with full luster and no damage, it can be incredibly valuable even without any mint errors. These coins are considered to be in mint state, and the highest quality examples, graded MS 65 or above by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, can sell for thousands. So, what does all this mean for you, the viewer? It means that the next time you empty your pockets, dig through your change jar, or look through a coin collection passed down through your family, you should take a close look at any 1991 D quarters you come across. Look at the design. Check for doubling in the letters and numbers. Inspect the edge of the coin for abnormalities. Compare the weight if you can. Anything unusual could be the sign of a rare error coin that if you find a 1991 D quarter that you suspect might be valuable, either because it's in perfect condition or because of a strange feature or flaw. Don't spend it. Instead, consider submitting it to a reputable coin grading company for authentication. A professional evaluation not only confirms the coin's legitimacy, but can also dramatically increase its market value. Graded coins are trusted by collectors and often bring much higher prices at auctions and in private sales. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the value. If you happen to be one of the incredibly lucky people who discovers a rare 1991 D Washington quarter with a major mint error or a perfectly preserved uncirculated example that's been graded at the highest levels, its value could reach an astonishing $75,000. Yes, $75,000. That's the incredible potential of a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. The 1991 D quarter reminds us that treasure can be hidden in the most ordinary places, and that the key to unlocking its value is knowledge, curiosity, and attention to detail. So keep searching, keep inspecting, keep collecting, because you never know, the next time you hold a simple quarter in your hand, you might just be holding a small fortune.